Now you're going to tell me a story about Chase when he was a lineman for the county.
No, lineman when he was in the army.
Oh, in the army.
Yeah.
I said lineman for the county because of the song,
yeah,
Wichita Lineman.
You're thinking about the song. I'm talking about the army.
Okay, so let's get the
He's
story
still
right.
in the service.
He's in the service.
And stationed at Fort Carson, Colorado, right south of Denver. Anyway, he was climbing this pole one day, and it was an old pole, and it broke on him. And he fell maybe about 20 feet down, and
Whoa.
it broke his leg. I don't know how, it must have been pretty bad because he was discharged with a 40% disability.
Man.
But, we was talking about it right before he died. When I was over there in Denver to see him for the last time, and we were talking about that, and it got around to him telling me that because I didn't know it. I didn't know he had been hurt.
So, I'm surprised he didn't get any splinters because that old, and it broke.
Well,
So it must have broken. And actually,
it
fell and he was on that part.
Yeah, but you don't know anything about the service. They tell you to go up that pole.
Well, yeah, you go up the pole.
Yeah, you go up the pole.
So he must have been up on the top of it and it broke. That's where he came down?
Evidently he fell quite a few feet, and yeah.
Man.
So anyway, how bad it must have been pretty bad because he got a disability out of it. And at that time he was telling me that he was trying to get a 50% disability out of it. At that time he was trying to get more money out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And he ended up working at Western Electric too?
Yeah.
And Chase worked at Western Electric. Betts worked at Western Electric, and
Richard got the job first.
That's my baby girl.
Oh, we're recording, Mom.
Huh?
We're recording, Mom.
Is he telling another story?
He's telling a story about Chase. Go ahead, you walk through.
Walk back through it again.
Yeah, you already walked through once. Why not walk through again? So anyway, you're okay. Those guys all got a job at the same place.
The thing is, Richard was a lineman in the service too.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, he was a lineman in the service, and he was stationed in Korea. And here's something that happened to him. He told me this at one time. Every time they climbed poles over in Korea, the Korean snipers would take pot shots at him while they was up on the poles, and they had to come down real fast right away. As soon as they heard a shot, they got, they had they knew how to fall off that pole when stick their spurs in when they got down to the bottom, so they wouldn't hit the ground. Whoa. And he said that every time they climbed them poles, they got shot at, but he never was hit. So, but he was a lineman also, the same way that Chase was a lineman.
Wow.
But yeah.
Well, I'm coming back through.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, that's crazy. Totally crazy.
I didn't know a lot of things about my brother.
Because you weren't around.
You
were drinking.
I was busy partying.
He told me that when he got discharged from the Army, or from, what'd you get discharged from? The Army?
Yeah, the Army.
The Army. So anyway, they gave you a severance pay, kind of like, for a year, right?
Yeah.
And that's your drinking money.
No, when you get, I didn't know it, but when they got discharged back then, they got discharged from the Army, they have a servant's pay that lasted
Where's the girl? Oh, there's
for a year. After you were discharged from the Army, you collected so much money a month from them. So that was my partying money. and I didn't look for work for a year because I was partying all that year.
That's why Grandma worried about you. Man alive.
And here's another part to this story. A couple of my other buddies from Mount Harris, we went to Hayden. They were having a dance at the high school for, I think it was after a football game or something.
Mm-hmm.
They were having a big party there. And
Probably homecoming.
yeah, well, I don't know, remember what it was. Anyway, we had some beer in the car. Yeah, we just had a couple cases of beer in the car, and we parked out there in the parking lot, and we're drinking beer, and everybody was hooping and hollering and carrying on there. And this one kid that we knew from Mount Harrison, they moved to Hayden. He got to drinking with us, and then we went into the building, and this kid got in our car and kept drinking until he got drunk. Well, we didn't know that because when we coming back out of the building, he was gone, and we didn't know where he went. So we went home that night after everything settled down after the party. But anyway, about 2-3 days later, the town sheriff, a cop from Hayden, constable, come to the house and served me with a warrant.
Whoa.
And I asked him what's going on. He said, well, that kid that drank with you guys, his mother's pressing charges against us because you got that kid drunk. And I don't remember how old he was, but he probably underage, I guess.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
Because he's a high school
she
student.
was pressing charges against it. And the town magistrate, the judge in Hayden, we had to appear before him on that day, and this one kid and I went down there, and he sentenced us to 30 days in jail or something anyway. And the other kid was going to fight it. But he didn't win it. He ended up in jail with us anyway. So, but I didn't care because I was still partying.
Right.
Still had money to party with.
In fact, that saves some of your money because you get 3 squares a day in there.
We just went to jail and spent 30 days and got free meals and a place to stay.
Yeah. Well, this is news. We didn't know you spent time in jail.
Didn't know my dad was a jailbird either.
Yeah. Well, that's not the first time.
Oh, okay. There's more time.
Oh.
Well, he was a partier, so he got himself in
The
some
first
hot
time
water.
I spent a night in jail was in Denver when I lived with my aunt and uncle.
This is your aunt and uncle who?
Albert and Only.
Okay.
My cousin Cecil had a friend that went back to, he worked in a packing plant there in Denver, and he went back to Chicago, I think it was, and bought a car. And we were riding in, when he got back to Denver, we were riding around one night, and the cops stopped him because something about his license plate or something. Anyway, they accused him of having a stolen car. So,
And he bought it in Chicago?
well, they back then they just took us to jail.
Oh,
Yeah.
Law and Order.
Yeah, because I don't remember whether he had a title yet or not, because it was over the car anyway. And they took us to jail that overnight.
You do that, yeah.
Well, anyway, my aunt and uncle, there was a cop lived across the street that they knew pretty well. They were acquainted for years. And anyway, she got hold of him and wanted to find out what was going on, that we didn't show up that night.
Right, because you guys were in jail.
Well, he found out we were in jail, and anyway, he got us out of jail. But the thing is, when I was sitting in the back seat, and my billfold fell out,
Oh.
and it went down behind the seat there, and I didn't know it. And they accused me. I don't know, remember what they accused me of. Try to hide something, or I don't know. Anyway, they tried to accuse me of it, and this cop that was good friends with my aunt and uncle, he said, nah, it just slipped out of his pocket.
Wow.
So anyway.
Man alive, sounds to me that justice wasn't very fair.
Yeah, and they put me in, they separated us, wanted to put us in jail, and put me in the, what they call a bullpen, with all the drunks and...
Oh, you fell right at home then.
Yeah.
It's my kind.
Well, them guys were whooping and hollering all night. You couldn't sleep if you wanted to. And they were pretty crowded in that bullpen.
There's a lot of drinkers in that town.
And I didn't know what was going on, man.
Was that the first time you were in jail?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was all
Yeah,
new.
that was a new experience for me.
Man.
That was before I went to the Army.
Right. This was early 50s apparently.
Living with my aunt and uncle. Yeah.
Man.